What's happening? How's it going? Chili Willy. 47 years in business. Proud of it. We're going to take it to a different level. A totally different level. So, let me break the ice and show you the way.
Jeff, I think we just got hijacked by our guest father.
Who was that guy?
Yeah, well, I couldn't think of a better way to be like an introduction to breaking the ice, but
No kidding.
that. So
Yeah.
Very well done. We appreciate that, hijacking our BTI here. Well, our guests here, I want to start with a question with you real quick, Willie. You guys, obviously have been a traditional ice company. You guys make traditional ice as far as you freeze water, right? So we many times on our podcast, we talk about, having an ice company is a lot more than just freezing water, right? But you guys have a different way of kind of, freezing water and doing things with it. So can you tell us some about that?
Yeah, for sure. So first and foremost, I want to thank you guys for having me on, having us on. We don't actually manufacture the ice. So we buy our ice from Arctic. We're a distributor. So the same process, right? You guys are very well aware of their process and all the big guys, but we've always purchased our ice from them, and we don't manufacture.
Okay.
Right. So with dry ice, what do you guys do in the dry ice space? Where do you get it? I guess for that matter. And what are some of the things, or how are you distributing that out and selling it?
So we're still traditional, but we've shifted. We got out of the resale business, so bagged ice for resale purposes. So anything from like delis, bodegas, supermarkets. We got out of that part of the business in the counties of Westchester, the Bronx, New York. I would say certain parts were like 5 to 7 years transitioned out, and we did shift our focus in the dry ice space, in the ice sculptures, the craft cocktail stuff. But the dry ice, again, we have a main supplier, we have other suppliers within network, but the dry ice industry, we focus a lot B2B, B2C, transportation, logistics, hospitals, research, DJs. I can go on and on. There's like a handful of applications for the dry ice as well as the usages.
So along with that, you guys also, you mentioned sculptures. You guys do a lot of sculptures. How big a part of your business is that?
Yeah. So we actually launched during COVID. And I did a program, Goldman Sachs, 10,000 small businesses, and that was part of my growth plan. That was from October 21, and then the class ended in February 22, or the other way. It might have been the year before. But as soon as we were able to finish the program, COVID happened, and everything was on a halt. When COVID happened, I want to say like 70% of our business went from full throttle to zero with the service and hospitality industry. And then, we go direct to consumer with the sculptures. So there's not, it's not as frequent, but we built up a clientele for ice sculptures, for luges, for craft cocktail, the seafood displays, the trays. We're actually doing this week, and that's why I had to cancel last week. We got a last minute order for this like special effects ice wall where they're building something like 4x4, 4x8 feet, certain specs, and they're doing it to unveil the title of an upcoming movie, and they have to fly people in. So this is something that, it comes in very random sometimes with projects like that, but when they come, we thought it was a cool opportunity. Got a whole bunch of stuff for social, so it's pretty cool.
Sure.
Can you tell us what movie?
I don't even know. I'll be honest with you. I don't even know the movie's name. They didn't even reveal it to me. But we're going again this week, so maybe we'll get a little more details. But I don't like to, if they don't say it, I don't like to ask because it is what it is.
Hey, totally understand, but I don't mind asking, so, or at least asking you to ask. Find out.
I'll ask if they tell me, I'll let you know.
Yeah. Well, we'll put it in some post-production. If we've got that information, we'll throw it out there. So
the sculptures always look so cool to see what you guys can do. And I know it's such an eye-popping thing for them to have at any event. So
What's
very
the
neat.
typical time that an ice sculpture will last?
So ice sculptures, ice luges, they last anywhere between like 4 to 6 hours, depending on like where it's set up,
Right.
how high the heat is, the fan, the wind, usage, and how long, if people are touching it. But we say, it'll get a good 4 hours, but we've had people that have put it for like, I know off the top of my head, we did like this big Empire State Building for a Christmas party, and they ended up taking it to the after party, and it lasted all night. So depending
Oh,
on like the design, even like some of the luges, I have to update. We have a whole bunch of stuff we did. I have to update the site with more pictures because we've done a lot more stuff this past year.
now, do
It's
you get
very
out and
neat.
do any of the carving, or is that somebody you have full time? Do you
Yep.
have a team? Yeah.
Yeah. So we've invested into CNC. So we have CNC machines. We just got another one, but a lot I'll design. So I deal with the clients. I set up like quote forms. So I deal with the clients. I bring their idea to life. I'll do like a mock up, and then our carver will tweak it, and then he'll take over like the CNC. Like I'm the backup if something happens, and yeah, so like I'm good enough. But I let him do his thing, right? I don't like to micromanage. If he needs anything, I'll assist. We have the guys like that'll go in and clean up, and like I usually don't, but I went to that wall I was telling you about. I went there. I helped out. It was him, myself, and my father, and it was pretty cool.
Go ahead,
So
Jeff.
what does CNC stand for?
I'm gonna
Do you
have
know?
to no, no. They're just like it's just the machine, right? They have it in different industries, like the wood industry, the metal industry. We use like it's like a dumbed down version of AutoCAD, where
Okay.
we would get like an image, we have to trace it, set bits and tools and layers, and it's connected in our freezer via a USB and serial port, one of the machines, and we have 3D views, so it's pretty cool.
Yeah, the CNC machine is, computer networked and everything is. I was able to Google it real quick. So,
Okay, yeah, I was gonna do it. I mean, off the top of my head,
no.
Google.
I've heard CNC for a long time. I know it had to do, with computerized controls. I know that for sure. But the actual name stands for computer numerical control.
Okay.
But yeah, so I was going to tell you, I love doing things. I've done it with a wood burner, laser burner, so you could go in and put things out, and I could do about a 24-inch by 20-inch area, but burning wood and do it at different depths and everything. So it's just not the X Y, but you also have the Z value, which I assume you guys have the same, be able to go a little bit deeper, but you're using not lasers. Obviously, that wouldn't work too well with ice, I don't think. I mean, you're using actual, bits and everything to be able to produce it, correct?
Yeah, correct. So depending on like the outer layer has one bit, like the thicker bit, the fine detailed has a smaller bit. So different bits for different designs.
Cool.
Yeah, it's really cool. Jeff, why don't you introduce our guest here? And then I have
So
another question I want to talk about what they're doing just after that.
okay. So for everyone watching, this is Willy D'Ariano, who is from Chili Willy and Cool Carl's in Ice Company in Yonkers, New York. We've known Willie for a long time. Never met him in person. I'm waiting for him to swing by Alabama one day and shake our hand. But one of the things that stands out to me beyond, just how progressive they are
It's his
as an
cool
ice
shirt,
company,
right? That's what stands out, isn't
the shirt's pretty solid. Yeah. I love their company tagline. I think it speaks to who they are. It says, "We are a family-owned ice company with blue-collar roots and white glove service." And uh, you know, getting to know him and how he values the level of service that he can provide to his customers, I think that really sets him apart. And I think that'll come out in our conversation today. So, what were you gonna?
Yeah, no, I wanted to ask real quick a question when it comes to really about how you guys do things from a non-traditional. It's the first time I heard about ICE and Uber
Mhm.
and delivering, and like you say here, don't have enough time for pickup, deliver with Uber. So tell us what got you into providing that service through, you know. an Uber or a DoorDash kind of service.
Yep. So this isn't for like everybody. This is more for direct to consumer. Everything that I was saying no to just because it didn't meet the minimum. This was something I thought about. I actually launched. It'll be 3 years in March. The Uber and like our quote forms when my daughter was born. And I was a little nervous about launching just because we're in the delivery room and now I'm texting and emailing my developer about this stuff. So, but yeah, so basically, even on our website, ecom, people can purchase off our website. If they don't want to speak to somebody, they can fill a quote form out. They can purchase on our site. They get like follow up videos, instructions, same way you track a Uber, the same way you track the ice. There is a limit to what we do with the Uber, like, but we've done bagged ice, dry ice sculptures, ice luges,
Really?
crush
Ice
day.
sculptures?
Yes, we have. So like we have like these custom boxes, thermally insulated with dry ice, instructions, drip tray, light,
Wow.
and um, we actually did a handful of them this weekend. But it's not traditional, but it's worked for us, and it provides them a cheaper alternative to do business with us.
Well, you say it's not traditional, but it seems functional. You know
Yeah.
how things have moved into that direction. I mean, I personally still have a tough time stomaching the $5 or $7 fee for Uber, on or door dashing. But we have people here in our office that they may get their daily run of Chick-fil-A
Yeah.
coming in here. So,
Yeah.
but it's everybody's personal feelings. But like you said, what do you think your percentage of your sales or your business is going through a service like that?
So it doesn't go through a service. So we encourage them to go through Uber Connect. So we're
Okay.
not like associated with Uber. This
Yeah.
is just like an Uber Connect package option. They set it up. They deal with the Uber, and if
All right.
we it's a little unconventional, but we've had success doing so with not going direct. Where we encourage them if they want that option, this is what they do. We suggest it. If they do it, they do it, or they come pick it up.
Okay.
So just one more question on that. Would that technically fall under Uber Eats, or is it
No, it's
just
Uber.
regular
It's Uber
Uber?
Connect. It's not Uber Eats, so it's Uber
Okay.
Connect. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, I
All
saw
right.
that. I wasn't really familiar with the Uber Connect, but thank you for explaining that somewhat because Jeff and I, when we were kind of researching some of this, and we saw that we weren't sure if that fell under that or not. So
Yeah.
yeah, just very curious about that. So that's pretty neat, and you know. Well, I'm sure there's other people out there that are probably going to have more questions and dive into Uber Connect and find out how that could help your business as well. So.
Yeah. So, one of the other main categories I was super excited about talking to you about and what you've done with your company is social media. So, for anyone watching, take your preference, whether you like LinkedIn or Facebook or Instagram. Like Willie and Chili Willie's, is all over social media, and we want to go ahead and show another example. You've already seen one of how they make a splash on social media. So we're going to cut to a quick clip.
Okay, with the nature of the beast and the beast it is, I got all my trucks, all my vans out on the road. Somebody gave me a call, they need ice right away. I gave my word, I'd do whatever I gotta do to make it work. See you in a few. Chili Willy in the house. Being in business, I learned that we have to go that extra mile for my customers to keep them happy and make sure that everything's done the right way. We go that extra mile for you. That's a fact.
All right, so Willie, we feel like that's a pretty representative video of the kind of thing that's on your social. Tell us about what social media has done for your business, why you got into it, and that kind of thing.
And if your dad broke the axle on that convertible, so with the extra weight.
Yeah, no. So I want to confirm the car is good, right? So that video, my dad's nuts. I mean, he's been doing that when like for years, and he's gotten away from that. But like, I mean, that just a testament of who we are and what we do for our customers. Like, if push comes to shove and all the trucks are out, yeah, he's gonna put it in his convertible, and like as crazy as it sounds, he's gonna get it done. And he's done that for years. I know there's other companies that have probably done the same, but I can go back 20 years. He's been doing the same thing, just different cars. But so yeah, so social media. social media is just the way, right? So like time is an asset. That's the currency. And like we live on our phones, right? Like check your screen time, check your daily consumption. Like we're here and yeah, we're on every platform, right? Because there's a different person, different customer slash client on every single platform. And you really have to cater your approach to each one a little bit different, like LinkedIn and Instagram and Facebook and YouTube. And they all have different, there's different ways to use them and different ones that you'll have success with. But again, social media is hard and we're
Yeah.
very niche. And there's content for broad, there's content for niche, but it's very hard, and you have to go in with an open mind. And social media is an investment. That's one thing that I've learned. It's an investment, and you can't look of I spend. It's different than other ways of advertising. If I spend this, I'm going to get this back, and there's no correlation to that. And the variable is always the creative to success, and it takes time, and you're always testing and always learning. And that's why you see some of our videos, the styles change, how we present it changes. It's a whole nother world. So like one of my goals this year is marketing, chief marketing officer. So everything I'm doing now, I'm very marketing centric based, and it's something that is taking me time to get acclimated with. But the more I do, the better I get, and you get better. You get better with the more you do. Repetition is the father of learning. And I just got my head down and constantly testing, because the market is brutally honest, and you'll know what works very fast.
So that makes me wonder, have you ever heard of a guy called Gary V?
Yeah, of course. Yep.
So one of our icebreakers, we wanted to ask you what you think of Gary V, and I happen to find I knew I could see all the signs you were following his plan before I found this picture, but I thought that was a pretty cool picture. Tell everyone who Gary V is and what he means.
Yeah, so Gary V is an entrepreneur, and he has a marketing agency in the city. He's owner of Vayner Media, and they're a media company in the city, and they deal with big brands, and they also have extensions for small businesses or smaller businesses. And he was like really pivotal in my mindset. Like one of my biggest hobbies is reading, and like read all of his books, and I followed him. He had different like vlogs, and I learned a lot from him in business with people, also marketing. And that was at 4Ds. So it was this program they launched to help small businesses, and it was like a full day immersion, very intense. And he came in, you had a personal question with him, you met with his team, and that picture was in his office at the end of the day. It was in December a couple of years ago, if I remember correctly. But yeah, he's a great dude. He's taught me a lot, and marketing is the future. It's present, and it's the future in any industry, not just our industry. I mean, we're at a disadvantage because not everybody's buying ice, but it's not like we're selling apples that everybody, majority of people eat an apple a day, or they have different products that they're going to buy on a consistent basis. It's a little bit tougher, but there is a market for everybody.
A video I've watched with Gary, he talks about, the thing that he likes to be known best for is just being a nice guy. So, obviously he downplays his influence and everything, but I mean, that's still admirable that you want to be known as a genuinely a nice guy. So, and, one of the other thing that, he talks about how the paradigm shift has occurred where you used to have to, put together content to build up a following of people to be to get more and more views. But now in the world of viral videos, I mean, you can go out, get one video, and next thing you know, you've blown up. I mean, I don't know that I don't know if it's great for our society, for those to occur, because sometimes you can get voices out there that spring up that maybe people shouldn't be following, but it's still the world that we live in. But you guys have done a really good job. Just the two videos that we've watched, but I encourage you, you can go out on Chili Willy and Cool Carl's. We've got their Instagram site that we can show if you'll pull that up,
Sure,
Jeff. But they've got a lot of different things out there that you can take a look at.
Yeah, we'll link in the description of this video if you want to go check them out. Follow them. I follow them just because they're fun to watch the stuff that they put out.
That's right.
But definitely, when I was learning about what you guys were doing back a year or more ago, I started seeing all the signs of the idea of Gary V's promotion of your values through your content, telling people who you are and that kind of thing. And really, honestly, he's one of the voices that had us thinking we need to start a podcast for the ice industry, because he was saying if you look around and there's not a podcast in your industry, start one, because like it's wide open. Somebody's going to do it. Might as well be us,
Yep,
right?
here we are living the dream, Jeff. So,
So he's to blame, or he
yeah,
gets the credit. I don't know.
we've talked about this several times, but being able to have people on that you and I've had a relationship for a long time, Willie, and knowing your father, and just it's been really nice to be able to bring people on. And we've had a lot of people come up and say very nice things. Luckily, the people that haven't think that we're not very good, they've kept their mouth shut. But it's been nice. And what people say is just being able to get to know people like you, Willie, that maybe they see you in passing and they heard about your company. It's just great being able to get those messages out. Just maybe this, like the Uber Connect, that's something that can be a light bulb in somebody that would never had even thought about it.
Right.
That's across the country, that's going to be able to promote, increase their business by 15-20%. Who knows? And if we didn't have platforms like this, that Jeff and I are nobodies when it comes to being known outside of really the ice industry. But be able to use our ability to be able to bring people on like you to be able to share that is great. So we appreciate people like Gary V, Joe Rogan, those folks that have kind of pioneered the way of being able to produce content like this.
Yeah, no, I agree. You mentioned some of that Uber too. I mean, Uber's a part, but we really streamlined our communications, our technology. We leveraged an automated technology. We have like custom quote forms on every one of our products where they get, immediate response. We have a whole bunch of back end technology because I'm all about systems and processes and leveraging my time, and like customers can pay. They can, we do everything is streamlined on the back end, where it just makes an like we're customer centric. We focus on process experience, and social connects that. Social makes that connection between what people see from the discovery, right? Instagram, Facebook, whatever platform, Google, to now making that connection, going on our website, and then it just creates a whole lot of, it just connects the dots. It just connects the dots. But like when companies do it, even we did it prior. Like my dad's old school. What are we spending? How much? Like you said something about going viral. My videos have not went viral, and I've generated sales from them. We're so niche, and a lot of people go into social with that. I want to go. I'll give you a perfect example. One of my friends, he's a tech guy, and he put out this video, and he went viral, and he grew literally like 17, 18,000 followers overnight. He literally stumbled on something, posted 3 videos consistently, and he generated like 4 million views. Like it doesn't happen, right? But you have instances like that, and then you have somebody like us that has been building slowly. But what does it do? It creates a connection, and now from a digital standpoint, we have credibility, and that's what social media does. But you got to be patient, and you have to put the work in, because it's not going to do itself, and it's a journey, and you're supposed to enjoy the journey in the process.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, and just being able to have like a platform like you're setting up in New York, we're here in Alabama, being able to do this. You had mentioned we had challenges, or last week we were trying to do the interview with you, and then I go and try to take move a snow-covered mountain with my left shoulder, which I don't know if everybody can see, but I had surgery about a week and a half ago. So we've had to push things back. I did not feel well yesterday or last week. Friday, we were trying to get things done, but then Willie had a jackhammering going on in his building. So we were able to come to you today, but we're glad to have you. And thank you for again, kind of explaining that to people that they're tentative on why would I want to do social media, but it is the way things are going and the way for you to be able to get your messaging out there. I'd like to transition real quick and talk about your family, if you don't mind. So
Yeah, for sure.
let's dive into the personal life of Willy.
Yeah.
So we've
So
got a few pictures. Just talk
Yep.
us through them. Who are we looking at?
Yep. So that's my beautiful wife Hanan and my son and daughter Liam. That was on Christmas Eve this year. I usually host Christmas Eve at my house, and that was this past Christmas.
Yeah, I love the messaging back there and everything. Give thanks. So,
Yep.
how old are your kids?
My son is 5, and my daughter turns 3 next month.
Yeah, I mean they're both cute, but man, she's uber cute. So.
Now you said Liam. I didn't hear your daughter's name.
So Liam and Mila.
Mila.
Okay.
Yeah. So obviously got another picture there. Is this Knicks game?
Yep, good guess. Yep, big sports guys. That was this year. Big sports: Knicks, Giants, Yankees.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we'll get to that in a little bit as well. So I assume this isn't daily attire, or is this was this
Yeah,
how?
so we let them pick their outfits, each day, whatever they come out in. This was this past Halloween, and we usually keep it theme based. So whatever they are, we'll also dress up or have matching costumes or some kind of shirt to go trick or
Yeah.
treating.
Yeah. All right. So tell me what I'm seeing here.
Yep. So that's my forearm. Anything I put on my body, for me, tattoos always tell a story, and they have significant meaning. That's a monarch butterfly that represents my grandpa and the sunflower too. My grandfather loved sunflowers, and one of the days that he passed, like this butterfly, and it was there. Butterflies all the time follow me. On the bottom, we see a pair of ice hooks. So the ice hooks pays tribute to just my process, my journey. We have an owl. An owl. I love birds. An owl is just very symbolic of like wisdom and transformation. You see the bottom also has leaves. The fall is my favorite time of the year. We see different colors, and it also represents the transformation in my life. And my tattoos tell a story.
Well, I was going to knock on you that I didn't see anything related to ice. I did not pick up about the tongs there.
Yeah.
Really, but I was looking for an ice cube or something. But
So
yeah.
I want to take a second. We'll come back to the pictures. I want to put the screen on you, and will you show the other tattoo?
Yeah, I was gonna say, if you were looking at the tattoos, yeah. So well, there's
tell
one.
everybody
Yeah,
about this one.
yeah. So this actually, I don't know if you could see it. Let me get up. Well, there's actually, I have 2 penguins on me. I'm not going to show you the other one, but this is actually
You're not dropping trowel, are you?
our low. Well,
Yeah.
This was our first where the idea came from, and I came across this image of like a butler, like holding up ice, and I'm like, when I rebranded, I'm like, I just love that. Like that represents who we are. So I had my guy at the time. He drew up. I have a couple of guys. He drew up what I had in my head, and then we had used the company to rebrand. And it came from that. It came from that image, and that's what they did for like the rebrand. And then the other one I have is a picture of Chili Willy. It's the actual Chili Willy penguin, and it has Junior on it. And it's in the same spot that my dad has. My dad has one on his. And when I was 18 and I got my first tattoo, that was my first tattoo. And it was something I wanted to like pay tribute to him because he made me the man I am.
Yeah,
Very cool,
outstanding. Yeah, let's jump back to pictures. So we, who are these?
Yep. So that's my beautiful mother and father-in-law. This was at an ice cream parlor in South Carolina this past summer.
Okay.
All righty. I don't see a bunch of guests in this photo.
No.
This is pretty unique. I hadn't seen one of these before.
So we did a first look in the ice house. So this was in their back freezer. So this is when first looks really started becoming a thing. So you would do like a first look at a location, and we did it at the ice house. So in this picture, I think I was in the freezer for like 20-25 minutes, and the photographer and the videographer like, hey, look, I'll let you know when she's coming. And I had my back to like where the entrance was. And like when she's gonna tap you on your right shoulder. When she taps you on your right shoulder, just turn this way, and then that's gonna be like the first look. Like I couldn't feel my ears. It was like 20 degrees in the freezer.
I was going to say you're like Jack Frost in there. I mean,
Yeah.
you
We
can't
got
feel
a couple.
anybody tapping me.
Yeah, we got a couple of our pictures like blown up in our house, but it was like really cool.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's and it's a little special to me at the moment. My daughter just got engaged not too long ago, my oldest.
Congratulations.
So, but I don't think she'll be doing it in an ice house or anything like that.
Yeah.
Storage, but anyway, that's a really cool photo that you had there. So, and I see that it's not just dress up for the kids, right?
Yeah, that's something that we did. That was last year. Growing up, Ninja Turtles were a big part of my childhood, and as my kids have gotten older, it's awesome to like live these moments through their eyes via holidays, events, any achievements. So I'm always a big kid. Always been a big kid at heart. So I love it, and to see the joy that it brings them, to like mommy and daddy are dressing up or playing a part, it really brings some life to them. So I'm all for it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, quick story on that. So, my family, when my kids are small, my wife we were going to be the Dalmatians. And yes, I put on a Dalmatian suit, but I end up having to draw the line when they wanted us to get down and act like dogs on the ground. So,
Yeah, I
I'm
agree.
gonna pass on that one. So, yeah.
So we just threw in a picture of your dad here, so you can kind of speak to that a little bit and speak
Yeah.
about him.
Yep. So
Yep.
my dad, one of the questions like that you sent over was like, who has had the most impact in your life, and it's my
Yeah.
dad. In this picture, he's with social media. We bumped heads a lot because my dad is off the wall. Like he has like really crazy ideas, and like we have to kind of not restrain him, tell him to play within these confinements, just because like he's come across a handful of people, and people, they either love it or like, okay, this guy is nuts. But my dad has been like monumental as a parent, as a father figure, as a man in my life, and everything that I am. I'm a type of person that's learned through mistakes, right? Or experience. Can't say mistakes, but experiences. And he's been monumental in my life from a business standpoint. I've learned so much through him, even through the things he did and didn't do. He used to bring me places that I had no place being, but I've learned so much from him, and he is the reason that I am the way that I am, and I owe him the world.
Yeah. So, curiosity with that. Were you always going into the ice business? Did you step away for a little bit? Were you on the fence? What was your story, or were you just
Yeah,
straight
so
on
this
the
is I'll
outbound
tell you my story because I've spoken about it, but not too often. So growing up, I hated the business. I absolutely hated it. My dad would like force me. It was cool at a point where if I wanted to go to work, I would spend time with my dad because he was building a business. I went in the truck, I went in the van. I was young, and we got to go to these cool places that the average person wouldn't get to go to. It was really fun. And then as I gotten older, now it's like you have to do it. I'm not asking you. I'm telling you, you have to do it. And he like drew the line, and I didn't like that I was forced to do it. I'm the type of person that I don't like. I like to make my own choice. So I mean, I've probably been fired. Like we did a whole bunch of stuff for like Donald Trump. I'm serious. We did a whole bunch of stuff for like Donald Trump when he was the apprentice, and he got like, I would rebel and I wouldn't go to work, or I'd sleep and I was rebellious, and like I would come outside and I had like the "You're fired" shirt on my car. Like I got fired a handful of times. Like it just, that's the type of person he was, because he related it that I'm his son, and if I'm not representing him right now, it's making him look bad. And that was something that he took a little personal. So he was really hard on me. Even like, I always wanted to make him proud, be it like a basketball game, if he was there, or baseball, whatever. I always wanted to make him proud. But he's what was the I sorry, I got lost in that train of thought. You said, oh, my story. So
Yes.
yeah, so I got my license. I worked, and I did not like talking to people. I really didn't. I didn't. I was
it's
uncomfortable.
changed.
Yeah,
We
no.
don't
So
like
I
that.
always, yeah, I always say that your weaknesses eventually becomes your strengths, and blue collar work will always bring whatever you have inside out, whether you want to. It's just gonna force you to do it. but like everything I struggle with, this particular job made me who I am. So I went to school. I got my associates in electrical tech, and then I have a bachelor's in electrical engineering, tech, and computer science. The plan wasn't to do the ice, so I ended up having two job interviews for two major power companies in our area. And like when I go to the interview, the guy's literally telling me what to wear, to the interview. And I'll never forget, it was a Friday, and I'm like, I haven't got the call. I finished my route for the day, and we're good. So then, but I call up and they were like, hey, sorry, we went with somebody more qualified. He actually had a engineering. It wasn't in technology. There's a difference of like math and science. I said, okay. And I was like devastated just because I got rejected. And that was like one of my first real times with rejection where I thought like I had the job. But then like looking back on it, it was part of my story. Like it really motivated me. It really, really motivated me to like, oh, that person told me no. Are you kidding me? Are you like, it really bothered me. And like throughout that whole summer, and then, then I told my dad, he was like, hey, look, the summer, like, all right, I'm putting that stuff to bed. I'm gonna rock it out. And then after that summer, I'm like, hey, look, I have an opportunity, and I'm gonna fix the company the way that I deem necessary to make it better and for everybody, not just for us, for the customer, our employees at the time. And then like the rest is history. One of my biggest regrets that I got my degree. I could always fall back on the degree. This was my mindset, was that I never want to be on my deathbed and think, what if I did the business? What would have happened? And I can say that I'll never have that regret. That was my biggest regret, and I'm really happy. And God made it clear to do the business, and I'm really blessed that I did.
Well, your father staying on you like he did, putting out "you're fired" shirts, holding you to a high standard. I mean, it's the whole adage of, we're not teaching our children to be children. We have to teach our children to be adults, right? So it's that constantly pushing, and sometimes over pushing. And I'm going through some of that with my son right now, whether it's athletics or just picking up your crap after we get finished eating. Of course, then my wife would look at it and say, well, why don't you get your stuff up too while you're at it? And I'm like, okay, fair enough. But it's pushing our kids and everything. But one of the most touching photos that I saw was this one, of the one that you sent. And I mean, you can just see the love that your father and you have for each other. I mean, that's not a made up smile or the, I just see a lot of love in this photo. So not to get too sappy here.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's a lot going on.
Yeah, there is. So that kind of sums up our relationship. Like the family business is hard. So we're family owned and operated. This year, 47, 48 years. My dad has had a lot of success, sustained success, and we bumped heads, right? And like I remember at one of the ICE conventions, there was some guy, I forgot who it was, but like one of his things was like, oh, that's an expensive sentence. And like the old school, the old generation, they would be, oh, we always did it that way. Oh, but this is what it is, and this and that. And like we bumped heads so much. Like he's had success in his time with the business, and I've had my success with the time. I always say, I don't care who's right. I just want to get it right. But that picture sums up our relationship where we bump heads, but then we, at the end of the day, we love one another, and he's proud of me, and I'm proud of him.
Well, if love is the foundation, everything else can stand, even if things do fall above that, but as long as you got love as the foundation, then, you can survive a lot of things.
Yep.
Well, I'm really glad whenever I see a family make that transition, because there's so many folks in a family business where the son never gets to the point where he sees his own vision and he earns the right to kind of take the lead, take on a meaningful role, maybe take the leadership overall. And maybe the story plays out completely differently, and the family doesn't end up hanging on to the business. I really enjoy watching that transition go well. So we do have a few other pictures we want to share with you, Willie, and let you
Yep.
speak through them. They're more work-oriented pictures, so
Yep.
I'm going to let Ethan pull that up real quick. And there's not as many. We just thought it would be cool to kind of like
Yeah, for sure.
pull a few
So,
up.
yep. So this is an ice luge. It was at one of my good friends and the team that we work with at Why Not You Media. It was at their charity golf event. It's the largest golf event in the tri-state area, and we just did like a dual branding for their event, and that's what you see there.
Very cool.
Yeah. So
This is a pretty sweet photo, man. I was like,
yeah.
I know somebody thinks that they're a BA right here. So.
Yeah, so I actually just got this photo. We had I just got back from vacation, and we just got like the vans, and I'm like, I want to do something, and like I just hopped on, and we, this was one of the the photos that we posted. We did a whole bunch of stuff, but it was just the fresh van. Just this now in hindsight, that picture's got to be, I want to say, at least 10 years old now. It's just, I look at that picture and say, you always look like looking forward. We see the penguin is looking forward. We see myself, we're looking forward.
Yeah.
Like
Well, I want to know how many curls or push-ups you did right before, just to.
No, I honestly over
Exactly.
there, yeah, no, I was my physique, as you get older, your physique and what works for your body changes. But I was lifting, I was very into powerlifting and all that stuff.
bags of ice, right?
Yeah, well, no, but I was off the road. When I was on the road, I would work maybe 10 hours. I would go into the gym. I'd be in the gym for 2 hours. I'd run like 2 miles and I'd lift weights. I'm like, look back, like, how did I used to do it?
Yeah.
I didn't,
Well, it's all
I
about
work out
kids.
now after when the kids go to sleep. I got the Peloton bike. I got my dumbbells. I have, a couple things I work out with, but I'm like, I don't know how I used to do it.
Hey, to me, a home gym is where it's at. I mean, even now where my kids are getting old enough to where I could go back to the gym, I much prefer even my simple, just, some dumbbells, things like that. And I can make it work. I don't
Yep, I agree.
need that other equipment and the other pressure of just saying, okay, well that, that dude just, squatted that much. I'm going to,
Yeah, I don't care about that. I don't care about that.
don't care.
All right. So this is one we found on your social media from back
Yep.
in the day.
This is a little plug, I will tell
Yeah.
you. So.
No, we're good. I was gonna plug you anyway, so you don't have to worry about that.
Well,
So-
we try to not make it ever about that, but we're
Mhm.
not going to stop you either. So.
Yeah. So we're actually approaching, I think. So our first launch date, like when we went live, was May 1st.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm almost positive it was May 1st, but this is RouteMan, right? And look,
Yep.
it said only took 37 years. So, right, that's a testament to my dad being old school. At this point, we were still doing like hand receipts, and it was a real pain. So, like, I would do my stuff, and then I'd be back in management with the guys. And at that time, we had like 30 guys, how many drivers? And it's like, you work a full day, and now you got to go do 2-3 hours worth of paperwork. So like this was really like pivotal. And I'll say this now, I'm a little upset that you guys didn't offer, because at that time there weren't any plans. So like we had to buy our software, right? We had to, you've really changed your business structure to make it easier to the average person getting in the industry, where it's not a big investment upfront. And at that time, you didn't have those options. You have that. Like if you're on, like, I'm going to speak into the video for this. If you're on the fence about using RouteMan, this is a message for you to move forward. Where at that time, that was one of the things that I took on with our company, and my dad at that time was like, "It's how much to invest?" And I'm like, "Just trust me," because it wasn't cheap when we did it. It wasn't cheap. I remember it was maybe like 30, 40 grand all in with the tablets, because you had to buy the tablets, you had to buy the printers, the software, we customized our stuff. So it was a big investment, but I will say that within like the first year, like it paid for itself.
Well, we appreciate those kind of words. I mean, and that's a testament to the industry itself of getting away from hand tickets and just getting away from, the cost that it takes, whether it's like you said, you coming in after a full day and having to do the paperwork, or the expense of having to hire part-time help, whatever that might be, and the mistakes that were going into it, because I guarantee you weren't fresh as the daisy coming in from your 2 hours in the morning at the gym, 10 hours on the road, 2 hours. I mean, you just, yeah,
Yeah.
it just, but we appreciate the kind words on it. And we've really appreciated working for the industry.
Yeah, and we've if you're watching and you don't have RouteMan, we have changed business models, pricing models quite a bit over the years. We want to be competitive. We want to make it as easy as possible for the small companies to get in, and you know, for you guys to make that kind of investment way back then that's a huge step, right? That's a huge leap. We want to make that first step as simple as possible for
Well, that
folks.
was one thing with you guys too. So like everything that I did, remember, my dad always trusted me for whatever reason, even as like a little kid. And like when I would go
It's
into
like, I
these,
don't know why.
yeah, he did. I'll be honest with you, I don't know why he did, but I said, wow, he trusts me. So I took it more serious, even if it was something a simple test. So, you know, he said this was like last year, a couple years ago. He was just like, I'm really proud. He gave me a compliment, and I thanked him for it. But I said, how you view me is how I view myself as a kid. So,
Yeah.
and it really like he took a step back, and it took some time to for him to think about it and comprehend it, and then just let it look back. But he always did it, even with RouteMan, even with like when we got out of resale, because he was scared. He was scared. I'm like, I did my numbers, opportunity presented itself. I want to, we downsized, but more profitable, and we are able to focus. And I had this vision, and he trusted me. And now, we're here. But RouteMan, not just. Again, I want to go back to RouteMan. RouteMan isn't just about the ticket, because one of his things was, oh, that's a good stop. Oh yeah, what did they do? This and that. And now I could press a button, and now you're like, well, it's really not, you know.
Yeah.
And that was something. And you guys always are changing. You guys are always adding a different element, and you guys do take what other companies say, and then you guys develop it. And your customer service is phenomenal.
Well, we appreciate that.
It is. I value that, because I'm all about service, and you guys have always catered. At least when there's issues, being proactive and having systems. You guys have always done that. So thank you.
Well, you are welcome, and thank you again for the compliments. I truly think almost any industry this it can go to serve, almost any industry, is that you really need to be a customer service oriented business first. That's, you need to provide customer service, and then you can provide a product along with that. If you flip it and you're all about the product, and then you're like, well, I'll give customer service when I can, those are the less successful companies, in my opinion.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, you plugged you. I want to plug myself. That anybody in the industry, if you need help with anything, or you want to pick my brain, if you with social media, back end process systems, we have all that stuff. Like, I'm here. I'm very easy to find. We're on every platform. You can email us. Everything is connected to my phone. I see everything. I'm responsive. Sometimes right away, and sometimes 24 hours. But most likely, I'm the type of person I like to close the loop. If you
Yeah.
need anything, I'm here. I will answer, and I'm here to help.
Normally we prompt, and now we're gonna have to go back and tell our
Okay.
post production editor
Ah,
Santiago and say, "Hey, what advice would you give to the industry?" But you just gave it, so you're gonna see it probably right before wherever he puts it
gotcha.
on.
But
But thank you.
I do want to say, for the industry, one of my advice to the industry, because that wasn't my advice. My advice is to the industry is to get with get with the times. A lot of not all of across the United States. There are some companies that are up to speed from a technological standpoint, but marketing all around, just get with the times. A lot of the generation is old school, and
Right.
I still deal. My dad's still involved with the business. I've met people at industry at all the conventions, and it's very consistent. That like somebody like with social media, or how to deal with an employee, or company outlook, or website, or anything, like you have to invest in RouteMan,
Yeah.
right? RouteMan, you have to get with the times. And
Yeah.
Gary Vee always said it, and I always say it, and I've gotten a million fights with my dad over it. The same things that put you in business will be the same things that put you out of business.
Yeah.
Mm.
If you hold on to it too tight, for sure. So, we're wrapping running out something. We'll say wrapping out.
Finding out.
Yeah, we can't hold on to this interview any longer. So, but we appreciate you joining. But we do have another question we want to ask.
Yep.
One thing we haven't been able to, outside of work, hobbies, interests. What makes you tick? Obviously, I know the easiest one, and if family looks, not looks. It's throughout everything that you've said is important to you, from your father to your family. It oozes out of you. But what makes you tick outside of work?
Outside of work, I love exercise. I love working out. I'm a big reader, so I would say personal growth. Reading has been monumental and pivotal in my life, where I've been able to educate myself. And one good thing, Warren Buffett, we did the Goldman Sachs, and there was this was during COVID, and everything was like live stream. And he said, when you read, that information, that knowledge you get, you can never get taxed on it.
Yeah.
You can never get taxed on it. It only compounds. There's no inflation, right?
So I was going to say it pays dividends, right?
Yep,
But yeah.
right. So like that personal growth, love, that just speaks to me. My personal relationship with God, right? Prayer, going to fellowship, going to church. I love sports, but I like nice things, but I'm a simple guy. I'm a simple guy, and now with kids, as you know, I really have my time is so tight.
Yeah. I was going to mention to you, if you haven't been able to see our episode, or anybody that's watching
Yep.
today, we had this author, Amy Brady, on about ice, and you can see all my notes I had up here. But I got through and enjoyed this book a great deal. So just talking about the ice industry. So, Willie, if you haven't had a chance to read that book before, if you enjoy reading, just I think it's a great read for you, and tell you a little bit about the industry that you serve. And you'll find a few. Did you know that you're sexy? I didn't know if you knew that or not. So
I'm sexy.
The ice industry is.
I don't know if you're asking me or you're telling me.
Take it for what it's worth, buddy. So
yeah.
She talks about how the ice industry was was a sexy ice industry.
That wasn't what he was expecting on this.
Yeah,
podcast.
no, that's fine. But that's one thing about social media, is that in marketing, you have to take things that are not sexy and make them sexy the best way that you can.
Yeah.
Sorry if I made you uncomfortable.
No, I'm good. I'm comfortable in my skin, Ethan. I'm sure you are too. So we're good.
Absolutely, but it's a great read.
I'm gonna check it out.
Yeah,
Willie, we've enjoyed having you. Thank you for taking the time. Thank you for being flexible and working with us to get this time. And we've enjoyed getting to know you a little bit better. We've been filming from RouteMan Studios in KCS headquarters in Pelham, Alabama. Thank you so much, Willie, for taking
appreciate
the time
it. Thank you for
today.
joining us.
No, thank you so much for having me, and I've also enjoyed this as well.
Have a great day.